All right, what's up, TikTok? I saw people doing this on TikTok. Shout out to Impound Comics specifically. What is this on the screen? I don't even think you guys could see that. Anyway, um, I don't have a streaming setup, so this is the scuff version, but this is a huge animated movie comparison gauntlet thing. So I'm gonna make this into like, I don't know, 15 TikToks because of how long it takes me to talk about stuff. I don't even know if my computer can record long enough to to freaking for me to finish this, but I'm gonna just do it, see how it goes. Um, if you disagree, make your own video or talk about it in the comments. I'll talk about it with you. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna try to be critical and not biased. But at the end of the day, it's all opinions. Nothing to get worked up over, or actually nothing to get upset over. Do get worked up over it. Let's get it. The second Lilo and Stitch movie, the Stitch the movie versus the Broly movie. First of all, did not know we were including stuff like this, so this is outlandish, and it wins. The Broly movie's quality. Okay, this looks like the type of movie. Also, are the titles in like Spanish? This looks like the type of movie that's probably super artistic and super quality. Never seen it. Can't tell what I'm even really looking at. So I guess I gotta go with the Lego movie. Um, is this um this looks like the type of movie I should have seen. I don't I don't know which Mickey Mouse animated film I'm even looking at. Which sucks because The Lost Village is not good. Also, Schtroumpf. Okay, this is Ice Age 5 versus Princess and the Frog. Collision Course is terrible, so easy peasy. The first Despicable Me versus Bella de la Forte 2. um, Open Season 2 is still funny. The first Despicable Me is actually a quality movie, though. Okay, back to back. The OG Pinocchio, I've seen it. I don't remember it. I only watched it once. And for the truly old Disney movies to get to my top movies, they have to be transcendent because I'm not a fan of the old grainy quality. I've been raised on very well 3D rendered things or even still very well 2D rendered stuff. Or I don't know if you can. I'm not an animator. In general, I've been raised on very beautiful looking films. And while this is beautiful in like an artistic hand drawn sort of way, um, I don't know. All that to say, the audio quality, the animation quality, the voice acting, all of it has just elevated. And in order for a film that's this old to transcend all of that, it has to be a ridiculously good film. And again, I don't really remember Pinocchio, so in the comments, let me know if it is that good of a film. But I'm assuming not. Otherwise, I would have rewatched it. Wow, what? The Pokemon Forever movie? That's incredible. Meet the Robinson is also incredible. I did not expect something like this to be on here again. Ferdinand versus Pokemon 2000. Did I see Pokemon 2000? Looks like the one with Lugia. I think I saw this. Ferdinand is cute. Um, it's not something I ended up rewatching, and it came out in modern times. So the fact that I didn't rewatch it is pretty telling. I mean, I remember Ferdinand pretty well. I'm assuming the Pokemon movie is better. Okay, Chicken Little. I'm gonna choose Chicken Little. Let me sing the bad guys' praises because we'll never see it again. I think. I don't know. I don't even know if that's how this works. The bad guys and soon to be the bad guys too are some of the crispest, most beautifully animated films I've ever seen. DreamWorks kills it, but too many fart jokes. You can't have this suave dialogue and this intense action and then have some dude farting. Like that's not, like why are you like DreamWorks builds this beautiful story in an animated format. So kids are already inclined to like it because it's animated. And then you have the dialogue and plot and scenes be made for an older audience. There's no need to throw in the fart jokes. It's so well crafted in every other regard. Um, but it gets too childish for me in some areas. Like, if you're gonna make a childish movie, make a childish movie. I don't like it when they don't know what tone to choose, and it feels like the bad guys doesn't know whether it wants to be a heist, freaking adult film about bad people learning to be good, or freaking a childish film where the piranha farts and the tails wag, even though none of them have, like, yeah. Anyway, Chicken Little. That Frozen 1 versus Vivo. Vivo looks like a mix between Coco and Rio. And it looks like I ain't watching it. I don't know. Yeah, I've never even heard of that. Let me know if it's good. Frozen, I know we saw it a million times. I know everyone hates it to hate it, but it's still a quality film. Lightyear versus Finding Nemo. Luckily, Lightyear isn't good, but even if it was, that's Finding Nemo. I don't know what Crowman is. It looks like one of those stop motion films, like Wallace and Gromit area, Chicken Run type stuff. Actually, it looks like that or Good Dinosaur type stuff with the teeth, with the way. Is this a Pixar film? I don't know what I'm looking at. Chicken Run's fire though. Now I've. Oh, well, that's Ratatouille. I feel like I've seen this. I feel like I've. This all looks familiar. Luckily, that's Ratatouille, so we don't have to spend long on it. A Christmas Carol versus Madagascar 2. Um, A Christmas Carol is a classic. Madagascar 2 is fantastic, and that was meant to rhyme. Ugh. Ah. Two terrible movies. Oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do with this? I'm a Kung Fu Panda fan, so if there are Kung Fu Panda movies here, it's gonna be tough to beat the other three ish. I like the first two way more than three and four, but even then, Kung Fu Panda 3 is still a good movie. Um, Kung Fu Panda 4 is garbage, especially from the perspective of a Kung Fu Panda fan. But I'm trying to do this non-biasly, which would include my negative biases. So, from just a movie standpoint, I guess this one is better than the Scooby movie because the Scooby movie just wasn't good. I don't know what Ant Bully is, but that's the first Kung Fu Panda, so I don't need to know what the movie is. Secret Life of Pets versus Tintin. Tintin's better. The Garatina movie versus what I can only assume is Up because what am I looking at? He's the center of the frame, but there's like I don't know what I'm looking at, and it's just called images. If Up comes back around on its own, I'll feel terrible. Garatina was a cool movie, but if this is Up, I'm choosing Up. I just don't know what that is. I don't remember 9, but luckily that's Shrek 3, and I don't like any of the Shreks. So yeah, I said it. Not that I don't like. I think all the other Shreks are bad besides Shrek 2. I think Shrek 2 is the only good movie. Shrek 1 is the most overhyped movie ever made. Shrek the franchise is the most overhyped franchise ever made, but specifically Shrek 1. Shrek 2 is a quality movie. Shrek 3 and 4 suck. Shrek 5 is disgusting before it even comes out. Puss in Boots 1 is fantastic. Puss in Boots 2 is one of the best. And that's my opinion of the Shrek. That's my opinion of the Shrek franchise, including its spinoffs. Encanto has some beautiful visuals, beautiful music, but I hate the conclusion of the film, and I hate the overall. The freaking Bruno was ostracized for trying to help people, right? And then was forced to apologize. Well, not forced. Then he apologized, right? For nothing. He apologized for being alone while wishing he was a part of the family. He apologized for being through trauma, and then instead of being like, bro, don't apologize, we should be apologizing to you, they say, no, don't worry about it, like, it's everyone makes mistakes type vibe. I was like, well, what are y'all doing? The Abuela, ah man, Dragon Ball Superhero is just fan service. It's a rest in peace to the goat. He just wanted to make Gohan and Piccolo relevant again, and that's all this movie is. But it's a quality movie, super entertaining, straightforward, does its job, and looks good while doing it. And since I don't like a lot of Encanto, I'm going with superhero. The first Trolls versus Fox and the Hound, get out of here. The first Trolls is actually pretty good, but Fox and the Hound. Pokemon, the first movie versus a movie I've never heard of. The Minions 2 versus Moana 2. The Minions 2 versus Moana 2. Okay, the first hour of Moana 2 is not good. The last 30 minutes of Moana 2 is fantastic. Minions 2 is a goofy Minions movie. I'm going with Moana 2. The Great Mouse Detective versus something I've never heard of. This is like if I had a following of several thousand people, which I don't. This looks like the type of thing that 10 people are going to be outraged that I've never heard of, but I've never heard of it. Oh my gosh, Cinderella, you're a classic. I respect you. Shark Tales all the way. Shark Tale all the way. Ralph Breaks the Internet versus A Monster in Paris. I don't even like Ralph Breaks the Internet, but I don't know what that is. Okay. All of the Pokemon movies are on here? That's going to be ridiculous. I don't know what Tad is, so maybe I should have done a different list. But here we go anyway. Igor versus Monster House. I like both of these. I like both of these. This is tough because neither of these are ones I'd rank pretty high. I'm affectionate towards these movies, but neither of them are ones I'd rank high. They both sit in that in between where they're fun to watch, but not exactly good movies. So I don't really know. Going with Monster House. I should. Oh, the Sea Beast versus that Migration. I love the Sea Beast. If y'all haven't seen the Sea Beast since it wasn't a theatrical release, go watch the Sea Beast, dude. Um, that's outlandish. That's outlandish. Alpha and Omega's on here. That's crazy. The furries have stood up. The furries have risen from their chairs and or beds and have now locked in. Peabody and Sherman. A quality film. This is outlandish. I can't believe Alpha and Omega's on here. Uh, I don't even know what to do with this. I'll just come out and say it. I don't really care. Alpha and Omega, I've watched probably 100 times, and I'm not exaggerating. I know every line of this movie, and I'll let you do with what you will with that information. Peabody and Sherman is the better film, and I'm just gonna move on. The B movie versus I don't know what that is. Lilo and Stitch versus Soul. Okay, fantastic movies. This is tough for the opposite reason. Whichever one I said before is tough. These are both movies I would rate very highly. I'm not exactly keen on rewatching Soul too many times. It's a journey. It's beautiful, but it's not exactly. It doesn't have exactly high rewatch value for me. Lilo and Stitch, a classic. I've rewatched it once or twice. I'm probably going to rewatch it soon so I can watch the live action if I feel like it. I'm not a fan of live actions. This is tough. In terms of which movie's better, this is absolutely tough. Soul is such a quality film. Such a quality film. Lilo and Stitch is such an enjoyable film. And that is, I mean, how much you enjoy a film is a part of how good it is, if that makes sense. Like, that is the whole point of movies. So even though you could chalk that up to bias, it's kind of hard to separate. Because, like, it depends on how much you enjoy a film, is basically saying how well does the film accomplish its goal. This is supposed to be an emotional journey, and it accomplishes that goal. This is supposed to be a different kind of emotional journey, ironically, the familial acceptance kind. Um, I don't. It's tough. This is tough. I don't know. I'm gonna go Soul. I think Soul is the more quality film. I know this is a classic and an adored film, so everyone's gonna lose their minds, but it won't be the last time I make y'all upset in the comments. Comments. The Jungle Book 2 versus, is that the OG Jungle Book? That's outlandish. This is randomized, by the way. Atlantis versus the Simpsons movie. I'm sure all the dads in the comments are gonna be upset, but it's Atlantis. Fantasia versus Tarzan. We all know Phil Collins killed it. Fantasia's a goated classic, but Tarzan. Whoops. Alice in the Wonderland versus Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell getting the standalone is sick. Alice in the Wonderland is wacky and crazy and a classic. The Tinkerbell film versus Alice in the Wonderland. I'm going Alice in the Wonderland. Shrek 4 versus Cars. Cars destroys. Your Name versus All Dogs Go to Heaven. Oh my gosh, I love All Dogs Go to Heaven, dude. I'm such a dog lover. This movie's meant for me. It's meant for all of us. We're all dog lovers. Um, I'll go. I'll go. Open Season 3 versus Transylvania 2. How far we've fallen. I think both the first films of these franchises are the best by like a lot. We're going Hotel Transylvania 2. I can't speak. Is this random or are they doing this on purpose? Because this is crazy. Obviously, it's The Lion King. I don't like 1.5. It's doing too much. The Rescuers versus, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. It's in Spanish also. Even if I have seen it and just don't remember, I can't garner that because I can't even read the title. Lucario is my favorite Pokemon. This is one of the greatest animated movies to ever come out. Ah. Seems to be a Peter Pan film. But I am not sure. Whoops. Never. This looks like another film that if you've seen it, it's probably fantastic. So let me know. But I don't know what that is. Actually, I should have chosen the other one because it looks better just off the title card. Monsters Inc., dude. Emperor's New Groove, dude. Penguins of Madagascar is a funny movie, though. Enjoyable movie. Oh my gosh. The I Choose You movie is incredible, too. But, and that one's in full English. They knew what they had to do. Astro Boy is incredible. Full stop. Astro Boy is incredible. But that's The Nightmare Before Christmas, dude. The Emoji Movie, good. Anyway. I don't know what I'm looking at. Let me know in the comments. Aristocats. Hoodwinked versus Despicable Me 3. I'm going with Hoodwink. Hoodwink is so ridiculous, but its goal is to be ridiculous. And Despicable Me 3 has sequel syndrome going on. The Snoopy movie versus Shaun the Sheep the movie. I've seen both. I remember neither. So do with this what you will. It doesn't actually matter. I'll go Snoopy movie, I guess. Don't know what that is by the title card alone. Looks like a Ghibli movie. I haven't seen all the Ghibli movies. If this is one of the good ones and I should be able to recognize it from the title card, my bad. Ice Age 2 The Meltdown is incredible, though. So don't get too upset. Clash of the Ages versus Oliver and Company. I don't remember Oliver and Company enough, but I remember loving it. I mean, I'm a dog lover, dude. The Hoopa movie was fire. The Hoopa movie was fire. Oliver and Company's probably better, but the Hoopa movie was outlandish. Polar Express, get out of my face. Toy Story 2. I love Hotel Transylvania 1. I just want to let that be known. I love Hotel Transylvania 1, but the OG Sing versus Treasure Planet. Treasure Planet is beautiful. The OG Sing is fun. I'm glad you didn't have to go up against something good because people sleep on you way too much. Lion King 2 is legit. The Wind Rises. I don't know what Sammy is. Looks like a Finding Nemo ripoff. Raya and the Last Dragon is a quality movie in so many ways. It has some wonky dialogue, but it's so rich in different cultures and it's so beautifully animated. Um, Soundtrack could be a little better, but this is a beautiful film. Rio is so much fun to watch, which again does speak to its quality. My bias is actually, if I was being biased, I'd probably choose Raya because I've had to defend Raya so many times. Raya's fire. Raya, but Rio, I'm going Rio. I think Rio's better. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the animated version versus Shrek 2. I don't like the Shrek franchise. I'll say it over and over again, but the Grinch animated film wasn't that good, while Shrek 2 is the best of the Shrek franchise. Frozen 2 versus Leroy and Stitch. Frozen 2 is quality. I don't care how overhyped the Frozen thing, how overplayed the Frozen franchise is, and I know that makes y'all hate it, but it's quality. Hotel Transylvania 3 versus Epic. I saw Epic once. I don't remember it, dude, but I know Hotel Transylvania 3 isn't good, so going with Epic. Brave. Oh man, why you had to do this? 1001 Pates. Rebel. Um, Brave is Brave is up there. A Bug's Life is great. Don't get it twisted, but I'm going Brave. The Return of Jafar. Anyway, Resurrection F. I'm still so surprised. Are all the Dragon Ball Z movies on here? Because that's gonna make this tough, dude. Resurrection F is great. Wait, sorry, I don't know what I'm talking about. Resurrection F has some incredibly entertaining moments, but I don't like it overall. Um, Inside Out 2 is a pretty quality film. Oh, that's Strange World and Wallace and Gromit. Wallace and Gromit, dude. Angry Birds 2 versus Monsters U or Monsters University. I don't know what that. Oh wait, I have seen that. Going with Bambi. Two great movies, and I think they came out around the same time too. Home is so good, but the first Puss in Boots, you gotta rewatch it as an adult if you haven't. It's so ridiculous and funny, and Antonio Banderas is one of the best voice actors in all of voice acting. I know he's just a traditional actor, and it's unfair because his voice is just so incredible. But it is what it is. His voice is just incredible, and the movie is hilarious. I think Home looks better though. Puss in Boots 1 is kind of rough on the eyes. Um, Going Puss in Boots 1. Home is great though. The Claws movie versus a movie I don't know. This looks like a movie that I should know, but I don't. Robin Hood's great, but that's one of the best. Mars Needs Mom. I remember enjoying that. Mars Needs Moms, but that's freaking Spirited Away. It's freaking the Teenage Kraken film versus the Road to El Dorado. Road to El Dorado's got that. The Little Mermaid versus um, Corpse Bride. Going The Rescuers versus Surf's Up. Surf's Up is the most underrated animated movie on this entire 256 long list, and I'll stand by that. The Rescuers is a classic, but that incredible. Ice Age 4, Continental Drift. Um, versus The Cat Returns. Never heard of that. The Continental Drift is actually better than I remember it upon rewatches. OG Peter Pan versus what looks like a movie I should know but don't. OG Shrek versus Dumbo. I don't like the Shrek franchise, but Dumbo's too old to beat the oldness. It's got to be able to beat the oldness. Monsters versus Aliens is not a good film. It's super entertaining. I love it. But if it was up against any other quality film that I actually know, it probably wouldn't win. Unfortunately, I don't know what this is. This looks good, but Cars 3 versus what looks to be a Ghibli movie. Can't fully tell. This looks super good though. Um, Going Cars 3. I don't know what the other film is. The Good Dinosaur versus a movie I've watched like 5 minutes of. Um, the Good Dinosaur is a great film. Original Madagascar versus Sinbad. Sinbad's quality. Sinbad's also sexually charged. Madagascar. Going Madagascar. Aladdin. This is not the first Aladdin versus Akira. Flow, which got so much praise and beat The Wild Robot. And for the Oscars don't matter to me anymore, nor do I think they matter to most people. But it beat. That was crazy. Did not expect that. Um, which movie is this? This is Mugen Train? I guess it has to be. The other movies aren't out yet. Mugen Train was fire. Um, I mean, they animated it in the show, though. I'm gonna use that as an excuse. Although I guess you could say the same for Resurrection F. Mugen Train's great, and it's a Demon Slayer film, so it's beautiful, and it's an anime, so it's powerful. Flow is fantastic. I don't think it's better than The Wild Robot if that shows up. Um, I'm gonna go Flow. Anastasia is great, but this is one of the best. This if that's gonna go a long way. How to Train Your Dragon 2 is gonna go a long way unless it gets matched up with something ridiculous. I don't even know what it could be matched up with. There's only a few I could think of. Toy Story 4 sucks. I don't like Kung Fu Panda 3, but this movie sucks. So, oh my gosh, I love Elementals, dude. Elementals is such a just simple, beautiful. Well, not even it's got a lot of beauty to it in a more complex level, but on the surface, it's just such a simple, enjoyable film. Sing 2 is good. Don't get me wrong, but Elementals is just so just such a return to form in a way for me. Despicable Me 4 versus Stuart Little. Give me that Stuart Little life. Planes versus Lilo and Stitch 2. Stitch Has a Glitch. Stitch Has a Glitch was actually a pretty good sequel. A lot of the Disney sequels are terrible. There's a few that are pretty good. I think Stitch Has a Glitch was pretty good. Planes, worst version of Cars. I'm gonna be honest. I've seen Planes and Fire and Rescue. I think Stitch Has a Glitch is actually better. Brother Bear versus the Tigger movie. Them Tiggers. Um, Dinosaur versus Up. I actually love Dinosaur. I love dinosaurs and I love Dinosaur, the movie. But Up is better. The original Ice Age, I want to say. Yeah. Versus the 12th. I don't know what that is. Tangled versus Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet sucks. Lady and the Tramp versus Rio 2. Rio 2 sucks. Bolt versus Home on the Range. Home on the Range is a classic. Bolt is incredibly entertaining. I love Bolt. I love me some Bolt, dude. And I'm a dog person. I love this movie, but Home on the Range. Pokemon freaking the Deoxys movie. I hate Madagascar 3. Madagascar 3 is a bad movie. I know when I say I love this or I hate this, you're thinking like, well, he's completely derailed from being critical. When I hate stuff, it's usually for critical reasons. I could spend the time to explain why I hate this or love that on every single one, but it'll take forever. So when I say I hate Madagascar, I can make it. In fact, I think I have on my TikTok already, but I could make a 10-minute long video explaining why I hate Madagascar 3 for critical reasons. For example, it completely erases Marty's character. Marty was the entire plot of the first film, if you recall. It's Marty that gets them to Madagascar. Marty was a central part of the second film. It's him that triggers Alex's, or not triggers. It's him that helps develop Alex's character development, realizing he's a bad friend, and super selfish. And then in the third film, he has like two lines. One of them is the freaking Afro Circus song. So he's completely, basically removed as a character. That's just an example. Pinocchio. I want to say this is a newer Pinocchio. Well, not I want to say this is definitely a newer Pinocchio. The nut job sucks. So, Land Before Time versus Sword in the Stone, two classics. Land Before Time all the way, dude. Sword of the Stone's good. Land Before Time is better. Planet 51 versus Frank and me. SpongeBob movie versus a movie I've never heard of. Let's go. Wreck-It Ralph is such a quality movie. I don't know what that other thing is, and I'm sorry. The Wild Robot is going to go far, bro. I don't care that that's Snow White. The Wild Robot is going to go far. Paranorman was good. Rise of the Guardians is incredible. Minions, entertaining film. Pocahontas, absolute classic. Colors of the Wind and whatnot. Going Pocahontas. I think Pocahontas is the better film. Big Hero 6. Toy Story. I don't know what either of these things are. I don't even know what I'm looking at in either one of these. Going this one, I guess. Onward is pretty solid. Pretty solid. Wish wasn't my cup of tea. Onward, pretty solid. And by wasn't my cup of tea, I mean I could point out things that were wrong with it. I'm being critical, I swear. I know it sounds like I'm just giving thoughtless opinions, but I haven't seen either one of these, but this is a Ghibli movie for sure. The Great Bear versus Dawn of the Dinosaurs. Dawn of the Dinosaurs is hilarious. Norm of the North, is that what that is? I don't remember, but that's robots. The Iron Giant versus Totoro. Y'all gonna hate me for this. I think The Iron Giant's a better movie. I haven't seen One Piece, so, but it would have been hard to beat a silent voice. I haven't seen Princess Mononoke. Anyway, Gone with Incredibles 2. I think I kind of want to watch that one. I've seen it I've seen it all over all the time. But just like all the Ghibli movies, if that is a Ghibli movie. Might just be Despicable Me 2. She shows up in 2? I guess so, yeah. I don't like it as much as the first one. Glad with a Chance of Meatballs is great. Turning Red versus Luca. 101 Dalmatians versus a film I've never heard of. Maybe another Ghibli movie. Is that the Prince of Egypt? Ah, yes. It is the Prince of Egypt. Boss Baby is actually better than I originally gave it credit for. Is that Beauty and the Beast versus Nimona? Beauty and the Beast is actually one of the better older Disneys, but Nimona it's beautiful. Hunchback of Notre Dame. Yep. Brother Bear 2. I don't like Brother Bear 2 as much as Brother Bear 1, but it's still a Brother Bear film. Happy Feet is great. Happy Feet is great. I'm okay with that. Coraline versus Horton Hears a Who. Coraline. Megamind versus Coco. Oh, dang, this is tough. Coco is so culture rich and beautiful, and the music is incredible. The emotion hits so hard. Megamind is so entertaining and funny when it needs to be, and emotional when it needs to be, and freaking cool when it needs to be. The action is legit. All of it's legit. Metro Man is OP, and I love OP characters. Megamind is funny, and he man, I'm going Coco. Over the Hedge versus My Father's Secrets. Gonna assume that's a Ghibli movie. It looks like it's way better than the Over the Hedge, but we're rocking the suburbs. Transylvania 4 versus Mitchell's versus the Machines. Mitchell versus the Machines is incredible. Happy Feet 2 isn't as good as Happy Feet 1, if you ask me. And Hercules is incredible. The Jujutsu Kaisen 0 movie versus the First Spirit. Jujutsu Kaisen 0 all the way. I'm not a big fan of the Spirit movies. I've only seen the first two. Is that a man? Kind of got feminine looking. Anyway. Um, I feel like I've seen that, but I'm not positive. The Croods is actually beautiful, by the way. I'm going to continue to assume this is Up. Oh, wait. Did I see Up? I did see Up. So what even is this? I saw Up, right? Upbeat like upbeat something. So Up is here. So I don't know what this is. I'm choosing Fox and the Hound. Oh, we've gotten to the point where it's comparisons to ones I've already chosen. Let's go. Across the Spider-Verse. I haven't seen The Wind Rises. Okay, now I'm confused. I definitely didn't choose you because I haven't seen you. Unless it was two that I hadn't seen. Alice in the Wonderland versus Akira. I'm going with Akira. Wallace and Gromit versus MU. I'm going MU. Pocahontas versus Pokemon 2000. Some Pokemon movies would be Pocahontas, not 2000 for me. Not 2000. Mitchell's versus... Oh, this is a good one. Nightmare Before Christmas is such a classic. Mitchell's versus the Machines is so underrated. Really, really, really good everything. Good story, good voice acting. Great voice acting. Good action. The emotions there. Going with Nightmare Before Christmas. Flo versus Dawn of the Dinosaurs. Now, this is how you know I'm unbiased. Dawn of the Dinosaurs is my favorite Ice Age and probably one of my favorite animated movies, but in no way do I think it's better than Flo. Peter Pan is a classic, and it's a good classic. Soul is better. I still don't know what you are. I chose you because you looked familiar. So, oh, again, thank you for putting yourself up against something that's like ubiquitously known as bad, because y'all are going to freak out when I start putting Lion King 2 over things that are actually good. But this movie sucks. SpongeBob movie versus a movie I don't know. Let's go. I'd rather watch Incredibles 2 all day, every day over Spirited Away. Gonna be honest. Just straight up. But Spirited Away is the better movie. Brother Bear versus Coraline. Whoa, this might be the. This is the. I think this might be like the two best movie comparisons so far. Like these two are in the very upper echelon, and I think this is the first time that two that have been in the very upper echelon have been compared. I think. I don't know. I've been doing this for 40 minutes, so I don't remember. This is tough. I'm going Brother Bear. I'm going Brother Bear. Brother Bear is so good. Oh, Lady and the Tramp is so for me though. Dogs in a Romance. That's all I care about. Go in your name. Madagascar 2 is great. Music's great. Voice acting's still there. Story is better. The plot is it flows better. The pacing, everything's great. Chicken Run is the better movie though. Puss in Boots 1 is better than Moana 2, dude. Hoodwink is wacky, but still pretty quality. Elemental is better though. The things they do with the animation is is just I don't know. Elemental is better. Clash of Ages is so outlandish, and it does what it needs to do so well. Madagascar is so funny, and it does what it needs to do so well. Very tough. Very tough. Very tough. I'm going Madagascar. I did it. Oof. El Dorado is incredible. Chell is incredible. Treasure Planet is better. I'm sorry. 101 Dalmatians versus Good Dinosaur. I love 101 Dalmatians. Again, I'm a dog person. It's Good Dinosaur is better. Don't even have to look. Ooh. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs is incredible. Childhood favorite. But that's Monsters Inc., dude. Again, it's on Netflix, or at least it used to be. Go watch The Sea Beast. It's incredible. Rise of the Guardians is better. I haven't seen this version of Pinocchio. Frozen 2 is a quality film. The Emperor's New Groove is fantastic. Kung Fu Panda has one of the greatest soundtracks that could ever exist. The Croods is a beautiful family film that's slept on, I think. But that's The Lion King. Onward. Over the Hedge is funnier. Over the Hedge has a better soundtrack because it's Ben Folds. Over the Hedge is pretty emotional. Over the Hedge has some great voice acting. Crazy cast. Although Tom Holland, Chris Pratt, so they both have crazy casts. Onward's more emotional with a better payoff, but kind of slow and less entertaining throughout. Over the Hedge is more entertaining throughout, with a slightly, well, not slightly, with a worse payoff, but still a good payoff. This is tough to think. I can't tell if this is my bias or not, but I'm truly going to say Over the Hedge. Over the Hedge is a classic for my generation. Luca's incredible. The Wild Robot is one of the best. Like I said, it's going to go far. Atlantis is incredible. I don't remember you well enough. I picked you because I remembered you more than the other one. Tangled is incredible. Oof, the Polar Express is fantastic and would have made it much further if it wasn't up against one of the best Disney movies ever. Despicable Me 1 is really enjoyable. Like, legit. And well made. But the Chicken Little, gotta go with Chicken Little. Oh, Battle of the Threes. I do not like Kung Fu Panda 3. I straight up do not. But that is from the perspective of a Kung Fu Panda 3 fan. Or, sorry, of a Kung Fu Panda fan. I don't like it in comparison to the other two because I think it ignores so much of the other two. Cars 3 looks better, but I feel like the story is kind of just more shallow. I'm going Kung Fu Panda 3. Up. Stitch has a glitch. Ooh. If I was... Ooh. Coco's emotion is better. Coco's music is better. Coco's plot is beautiful. I think they're tied on plot for me. Obviously, Big Hero 6 has better action because it's an action film. So I guess I should say Big Hero 6 has better conflict, better written conflict, and I know that might catch you off guard, but the way Hiro tries to manipulate Baymax and Baymax has to, like, yeah, and with the Callahan's daughter, and I don't know, the conflict of Ernesto and Coco's better. If I was going to submit to my bias, Big Hero 6 all the way. One of my favorites, but Coco's better. The first Pokemon movie is incredible. But this movie is so much better every time I rewatch it, dude. Robots versus Ratatouille. We're getting into the weeds, bro. We're getting into the weeds. Um, I'm going Ratatouille. I think Ratatouille is better. Hercules is one of my favorites. Absolutely incredible. This movie is ridiculous. Surf's Up, man. One of the most underrated ever. Land Before Time versus Prince of Egypt. Land Before Time teaches better lessons, I suppose. Or Land Before Time teaches a great lesson and is beautiful and is. It's got to be Prince of Egypt. It's the oh, they're so good. The wide shots on Prince of Egypt with the drawn it's so I don't know. That was a tough one. First Cars versus Finding Nemo. The First Cars is incredible, but that's Finding Nemo though. Car or let's just say man, super arrogant man learns to be less arrogant and learns that winning isn't everything versus man crosses the ocean to find his son. We're going with Nemo, dude. There's not much that's beating that. OG Toy Story versus OG Tarzan. Tarzan has such a great soundtrack, such fluid animation. Toy Story is such a behemoth and such it's so important for the industry and that's tough. That is tough. Beautiful voice acting. Such a compelling story, especially for a kids movie. Like we take it for granted now, but imagine when this came out, freaking toys being alive and that being the story. Like that's incredible. Tarzan. I'm going Toy Story. Great Master Detective versus Home on the Range. Going Home on the Range. I'm going Jungle Book. Bare necessities, bro. Going Princess and the Frog. Going The Meltdown. I love The Meltdown. And also The Meltdown is incredible. You get it by now. The Pokemon movies are all super entertaining. Shrek 2, I think, is a better, more quality movie. The jokes are better written. The animation's obviously improved. The voice acting's still there. Puss in Boots is incredible. The King and Queen are incredible. Fairy Godmother is it's a good movie. That's the best Shrek movie. Haven't Seen You. Going Zootopia. Continental Drift versus Happy Feet. Now I know I said Continental Drift is actually better on rewatches, but Happy Feet for sure. Hunchback of Notre Dame versus Nine. Don't remember Nine well enough. Going Hunchback of Notre Dame. Pokemon Forever is so good, dude. I love Pokemon Forever. The Lego movie's pretty good. Way better than I expected. But I'm going Pokemon Forever. Iron Giant all the way. Bee movie's incredible. Super funny. Super. I mean, raising awareness for bees should not go understated. That's a very important and very good plot point per se. But going Rio. I am a humongous Dragon Ball fan. Absolutely massive Dragon Ball fan. And that's the best Dragon Ball. Well, that's the best Dragon Ball movie. Not my favorite Dragon Ball movie, but it's the best Dragon Ball movie. But Toy Story 2 is so good. Like, well crafted. They're both so well crafted. This is tough. This movie screams quality. They both scream quality. The voice acting's obviously better here because it's an anime. They get the ability to show off as much as they can. Gonna go Toy Story 2, but that's crazy. Oh, here we go. It's gonna be all the Dragon Ball films now. I don't think superheroes as quality as Broly and Brave is quality all around. I'm going Shark Tale. Tintin is a more serious movie, so you may on paper automatically assume it's more quality, but Shark Tale is legit. First Frozen versus first Shrek. Two of the biggest movies ever. One in the box office and one on the internet. Y'all are gonna hate me, but I've said over and over again, I don't vibe with the Shrek franchise, or the Shrek proper franchise. Um, and if you, again, if you pretend that you haven't had to watch this movie 100 times, and if you pretend that a sibling or a friend didn't sing "Let It Go" 1,000 times, this movie is still fantastic. The original Ice Age versus Inside Out 2. Inside Out 2 is better. Monster House versus Open Season. I feel like I did this one. Guess not, though. Monster House. Mm, mm, mm. Unbelievable. The OG Jungle Book versus Over the Hedge. Jungle Book's fantastic. Going Over the Hedge. Night Before Christmas. Brother Bear. Jujutsu Kaisen 0 was great. These are two of the best movies remaining. 100% two of the best movies remaining. How to Train Your Dragon. Tangled. Pocahontas is a classic. It's beautiful. I just think Tangled's better. Treasure Planet. Fox and the Hound is great. Give me Treasure Planet. A Silent Voice. I'm going Brave. I don't care, bro. I don't care. Brave is better. Brave is better. Look me in the eyes. Surf's Up. I don't care. Argue with a wall. Surf's Up. Surf's Up. Coco is absolutely fantastic. I've sung its praises enough. Surf's Up is ridiculous. Surf's Up is like the Tropic Thunder of animated movies. It's just the fact that it's from the perspective of a documentary being recorded about Cody Maverick, and like water splashes on the camera, therefore, and microphones fall over. Just that idea alone is so creative. It's ridiculous. Then you throw in how good the voice acting is. You throw in how good the soundtrack is. You throw in how good the animation is. And you have a recipe for the most underrated animated movie ever. Rise of the Guardians is one of my favorites. Puss in Boots is better. Oh, I don't know about that, actually. I don't know. I think I might. Oh, I thought I didn't think that one through. Puss in Boots 1 is fantastic. Rise of the Guardians has better so many things though. I'm luckily this ends with one. Like the whole point of this is to end up at a singular movie. Neither Rise of the Guardians or Puss in Boots would make it to the very end, but I think I'd take Rise of the Guardians over Puss in Boots. So whenever I see Puss in Boots next, I'll pretend as if it's Rise of the Guardians and see if that makes a difference. Move on. Frozen 2. I think it's the better sequel. Fight me if you want. This is going to hurt a lot of y'all's feelings. Finding Nemo is incredible. Puss in Boots 2 just does too much. Like, this story is more compelling, but it's just too much. The animation is too good. The attention to detail is too good. The voice acting, too good. The villains, too freaking good. Atlantis is incredible, but my gosh. Gotta go, Kira. Soul. OG Toy Story beats Stitch Had Us a Glitch. Didn't I already choose something over you? Pokemon Forever is so good. I'm going Meltdown. I'm actually going to Prince of Egypt. Up is great. Up is great. I'm going to Prince of Egypt. Okay, this is another battle between two absolute incredible films. I'm going Wreck-It Ralph. Wreck-It Ralph is so good. Nimona is incredible. Wreck-It Ralph. I'm going Wreck-It Ralph. Going your name. Okay. The Iron Giant is really, really good. Really, really good. But The Lion King 2 is better. I'm sorry. Lion King 2 is a perfect sequel. I'm a humongous Lion King fan, Lion King 1 fan, and I'd be the first to point out if the sequel was disingenuous to the original. Lion King 2 is a perfect sequel, and to be a perfect sequel to Lion King means you're similar in quality, right? And Lion King is one of the best of the best. I know Iron Giant is one of the best of the best, but I'm sorry. I know that one's gonna hurt. I know y'all gonna think I'm crazy for that one, Shark Tale. Again, I don't like the Shrek franchise. I don't know how many times I've said that. I'm going Happy Feet. Am I going Happy Feet? I'm going Happy Feet. I'm going Happy Feet. Happy Feet's better. Better all around. Ratatouille is one of the goats. It is an absolute banger, an absolute classic. The Wild Robot is better. I'm sorry. Am do I maybe overrate animation quality over all else? Maybe. But Ratatouille is beautiful because of the small stuff, if that makes sense. Like Ratatouille is beautiful in like a compact atmospheric way, while The Wild Robot is about motherhood and life and it's if you haven't seen The Wild Robot, it's on Netflix now. Go watch that immediately. The Lion King versus the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Probably two of my favorite movies of all time. But ooh my gosh. Elemental is incredible. Elementals is incredible. But Monsters Inc. is the better film. Frozen 1 versus The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Hunchback of Notre Dame. I ain't crazy now. Inside Out 2. Monsters House is good, but Inside Out 2. Princess and the Frog. I love Zootopia, and Zootopia is a very good film. But that's How to Train a Dragon. Chicken Little, incredible film. Just movie just does too much. Happy Feet, as I said, incredible film. Mulan just does too much. Ooh. Now, even though The Lion King is the GOAT, Brother Bear does things better than Lion King. But The Lion King does things better than Brother Bear. Brother Bear is so good. It's incredible. Its story is definitely more compelling than the Lion King story from the perspective of an adult. But Lion King's got the music. Honestly, Lion King is carried by its soundtrack pretty heavily. I know the Brother Bear soundtrack is good. I'm going with Lion King. That's tough. That is tough. Two DreamWorks films. Puss in Boots 1 is incredible. If this was Rise of the Guardians, it wouldn't make a difference because absolutely ridiculous. I really can't stress how quality Frozen 2 actually is. But Treasure Planet's better. Brave is incredible. How to Train a Dragon 2 is one of the best. Oh, no. I didn't know a silent voice was going to be up here, bro. When I clicked this list, I expected Disney, Pixar, DreamWorks, freaking Blue Skies. I expected the big studios. I know that I did not expect animated film, like anime films. I sort of expected the Ghibli films. I didn't expect Pokemon. I didn't expect Dragon Ball. I didn't expect a silent voice. I didn't expect a silent voice, dude. This throws a curveball at me every time I see it. On one hand, right? I'm going to be totally fair. On one hand, A Wild Robot is a much more predictable story. On the other hand, A Silent Voice is extremely unique in a lot of ways. But A Wild Robot looks better. I like the A Wild Robot soundtrack better. They're both so emotional in different ways, and that's coming from a 22-year-old dude. But this is really emotional if you're a mother or a parent. But even for me, I don't know, man. This is crazy. I did not know you were gonna be here. I don't know what to do with a silent voice. It seems like it shouldn't be. It seems like it should be in its own separate thing. With like it should be American made, and then anime. They shouldn't touch because they confuse me. Actually, I don't know who made a silent voice. Now that I think about it, um, I don't know. Honestly, if I wasn't making a video, I would probably just stare at the screen for 30 minutes and then close my eyes and keep one. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Recency bias has me leaning towards a Wild Robot. This is incredible. The crazy thing is, I know for a fact a Wild Robot wouldn't beat. Wait. Okay, let me take a moment here. Kung Fu Panda 2. Look me in the eyes. Kung Fu Panda 2 is the greatest animated movie of all time. Okay? Okay. It has the soundtrack of Kung Fu Panda 1, which we can all agree is one of the greatest soundtracks of all time. But the emotion is raised to 11. The intensity is raised to 11. The plot is raised. Everything is just raised in a more mature way. If you like the more lighthearted, funny films, Kung Fu Panda 1 is obviously for you. But if you like the more mature, elevated storylines with elevated stakes, with elevated emotion, elevated voice acting, elevated animation, just elevated everything, Kung Fu Panda 2. How to Train Your Dragon 2 is definitely up there. Mulan and Lion King and WALL-E are definitely up there. These are like the contentions for the top 5. A Wild Robot and Puss in Boots 2 are the newest things that I would put in my top 10. But I know for a fact there are movies that would beat A Wild Robot on here. I don't know what movie, because Kung Fu Panda 2 isn't on here. I haven't seen it. I don't know what movie I would immediately put over a silent voice. So that kind of sounds like a silent voice wins. And that breaks my heart because A Wild Robot is one of is my gosh. Hunchback of Notre Dame. Why isn't Kung Fu Panda 2 on here, man? Wait, is it on here? I've been doing this for too long. If Kung Fu Panda 2 is on here, I'm chilling. And I kind of spoiled the ending. If it's not on here, the ending is ambiguous. But let's continue. I gotta go Toy Story. I'm actually going Soul on this one. Nightmare Before Christmas. I love Shark Tale. Nightmare Before Christmas is... Over the Hedge is a very underrated film. I'm going Your Name. Puss in Boots 2. Oh, man. The thing is, if I put Wreck-It Ralph over Lion King 2, would I put Wreck-It Ralph over Lion King 1? Because in my opinion, Lion King 1 or 2 are very similar in quality. Lion King 1 is better in quality. But not by enough that I think it fits in between them. Who's not talking about? It'd have to fit awfully conveniently. So, if I put... would I put Wreck-It Ralph
with
over
the
Lion
pin
King
thing on? What's he talking about?
Bro, Shrek over Lion King.
By himself?
This is absolutely such a good movie. Is Wreck-It Ralph in my top 5 then? If I put it above Lion King 1, it has to be in my top 5 of best. Maybe Lion King isn't in my top 5 of best. It's definitely in my top 5 of favorites, but is it in my top 5 of best? Wreck-It Ralph is so good. I mean, the voice acting when Vanellope is stuck outside and the freaking I'm bad and that's good, or it's you know the I'm bad speech and I'll never be good. I'm not good and that's not bad. You know, the only thing I want to be is me. It's so, oh my gosh. King Candy, Alan Tudyk is so good as King Candy.
Oops. Bad.
Go on Lion King. Go on Lion King. Think Lion King 2. Think Lion King 2. I think Wreck-It Ralph has better peaks, like the ones I just mentioned. Lion King 2 is fantastic the entire time. It's also a musical, so it is carried by its soundtrack. But still. Ice Age 2 The Meltdown is so good, bro. I'm sorry. Ice Age 2 The Meltdown is so good. Monster Zeke is incredible too. I'm going Ice Age. I'm breaking hearts right now. I'm going for it. I'm also breaking my heart because we have one of my favorites versus one of the best. Surf's Up is absolutely quality. Do not get it twisted. This has an original soundtrack that's one of the greatest ever made, if not the greatest, and this has a unoriginal soundtrack that's one of the greatest ever made. Like a soundtrack full of a bunch of I mean, don't get me wrong, the original music for this film is still good, but it's non-original track. Well, I
Maybe they
accidentally
just
clicked
used
Surf's
to be
Up.
or something.
I would have clicked Kung Fu Panda. So straight up, Kung Fu Panda, replace that in your mind with Surf's Up. That's unfortunate. Across the Spider-Verse. Prince of Egypt is fantastic. Would I put Toy Story 1 over Lion King? Toy Story 1 is such a behemoth, dude. It does so much for the industry, and its soundtrack is great. I'm taking Lion King 2. If it was Toy Story 3, different thing. How to Train Your Dragon 2. Puss in Boots 2, again, it does so much. There's diegetic music. There's scene transitions. Yeah, it does so much. But How to Train Your Dragon 2 is better. Go in Your Name. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. In the running for best
Best
Disney film.
strategy.
In the running for best DreamWorks film. I'm going Mulan.
Mm.
Mm. When I rank my favorite or best animated films, I usually just leave the Spider-Verse films off because they're so good, it feels like it shouldn't count to include them. But since they're here, I'm going across. Now, don't get it twisted. Kung Fu Panda 2 is still better. And I haven't seen it, so it's truly not here. Hey, Surf's Up is back. Oh, right. I chose Surf's Up over Kung Fu Panda. To be fair, I would choose Surf's Up over Treasure Planet too. And I know Treasure Planet is beloved in quality and super beautiful and all that good stuff. Um, um, but I would choose Kung Fu Panda over Treasure Planet as well. So Kung Fu Panda is gonna go pretty far. Nightmare Before Christmas. Soul's incredible. Okay, we're really getting to the end then. Lion King 2. Oh, I wish you weren't here, dude. Why do you have to be here? I haven't even had a chance to talk about Your Name because it's been up against pretty easy competition in comparison to itself, but now it's up against the Silent Voice, so there it goes. Kung Fu Panda 1, remember this is Kung Fu Panda 1 versus How to Train Your Dragon 2. How to Train Your Dragon 2. I'm okay with this. How to Train Your Dragon 2. Oh my gosh. Across the Spider-Verse. A silent voice has been dethroned. Is this the end? Okay. If this was Into the Spider-Verse, this would be tougher because I think Into the Spider-Verse is better than Across the Spider-Verse. But How to Train Your Dragon 2 is definitely better than Across the Spider-Verse. Oh, and that was indeed the end. My gosh, an hour and 10-minute long freaking gauntlet, dude. So How to Train Your Dragon 2 is the best on this list, but for sure, um, for sure, Kung Fu Panda 2 would win in the compared to the stuff I've seen. Maybe there's a movie. Maybe there's a movie that I'm not thinking of. Anyway, I'm stalling. This has been this. I'm gonna make like 20 TikToks of it. So who knows? Anyway, if you disagree with the 100 or the 200 movies I compared, comment down below. Make your own videos. This was incredible. I'll see you guys.